Sepia Gamer. A single bright island in a sea of porridge. Good evening, and welcome to the Sepia Gamer. My name is Elliot Winterton Smythe, and I'm pleased to present a brief review of the gaming news of the last 7 days. In our top story, an entire cannery of worms has erupted as Texas Governor Rick Perry was announced as the keynote speaker for this year's E3. In 2006, Governor Perry endorsed controversial preacher John Hagee when he claimed that all non-Christians have a non-stop ticket to hell. But it was not Perry's religious views that had gaming website Game Politics' knickers in a twist. The website accused Michael Gallagher, president of the ESA, which is the organization that runs E3, of politicizing the event, a claim that the ESA took umbrage at. In a statement to website Joystick, they called Game Politics objectivity into question, calling the site biased against the ESA and comparing it to the communist regime in Cuba. Game Politics stood by their statement and pointed out that the ESA seems unable to keep hold of some of its biggest members. I don't think it would be remiss of me to say, zing! Rumour has it that the ESA were going to call Game Politics Nazis, and then go to their room and update their MySpace page, but luckily thought better of it at the last minute. It is also important to note that for legal reasons, I made that last rumour up. And for those of you who are wondering why a conservative Christian politician has been asked to speak at a gaming conference, Perry offered tax incentives to Texan game developers, unless their game featured inappropriate content, of course. To the Orient now, as one of Japan's leading purveyors of tits and violence and staunch enemy of feminism, Tomonobu Itagaki has left Tecmo in a huff, claiming that the company refused to pay him bonuses they promised him and that they said mean things behind their back. In a statement, Itagaki claimed that Tecmo bosses taunted him over the cash he believed he owed, telling him if he didn't like the decision he could either leave the company or sue them. So naturally he did both. Itagaki suing Tecmo for 148 million yen, which when converted into real money is nearly £750,000. Tecmo responded by calling Itagaki's reasons for suing self-centered, and pointed out the bonuses he craved were not agreed upon by them but by the previous administration. They also mentioned the sexual harassment suit brought against the Pockmark programmer by a Tecmo employee. Personally, I have no idea who was in the right and who was in the wrong, but I know I'd have a lot more sympathy for Itagaki if he didn't seem such a cad. And if all of his games weren't shit. A possible release date for Gears of War 2 has been let slip by voice actor Lester Mighty Rasta Spate, who lent his vocal talents to the character Coltrane. While making an appearance at the Triforce panel at Wizard World, he remained tight-lipped about the release date, but suggested that they ask him again on November the 16th. Now, far be it from me to disparage the man, but I've seen more subtle land wars in Asia. It's good news for all you pugilism fans. Capcom have confirmed that Street Fighter IV is heading for a console near you. The game is the latest installment in a series that have had more mature gamers like myself thinking wistfully about the old days. Let's take a look at the game, shall we? My, that looks jolly exciting. Microsoft have clarified the criteria for the delisting of live arcade games. In what seems like an obvious move, Microsoft are planning to remove old rubbish games that no one likes. Titles potentially facing the drop are arcade classics such as Pac-Man, Defender and Missile Command. Will these games go the way of the dodo, or will nostalgia win in the end? Only time will tell. As the PlayStation 3 exclusive Metal Gear Solid 4 looms ever closer, gaming periodical EGM have announced to the world they will not be publishing a review. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just par for the course, those laser colonials, but they claim that that's not the case. EGM assert that publisher Konami asked them to keep quiet over the interminable length of the cutscenes and the hefty size of the install, and in a show of gumption worthy of an Englishman, they've put their foot down and refused to play Konami's game. This move has split the gaming world down the middle. On the one hand, many are applauding EGM for taking a stand, but on the other hand, as EGM are replacing their review with a round-table discussion about the game, there are those that claim it was all about getting the magazine some easy publicity in what is known as the Mark Ryan Gambit. And finally, party entertainers Balloon Guy have thrown their hat into the gaming ring by creating an almost life-size model of Halo's Master Chief. They have also crafted a latex replica of everyone's favourite turtle-murdering plumber, which is, in a word, terrifying. This has been the news roundup from Sepia Gamer. I'm Elliot Winterton Smythe, wishing you good night.